I will show you some scenes that were scripted to be in the movie, were shot with a lot of work in Italy, and then later on cut out of the movie. That happens. In general, a movie screenplay is anywhere from 100 to 140 pages long. And you try to come up with the best possible story, have the characters, the dialogue, the descriptions of the events and the scenes in great detail, and you hope for approximately 2-hour movie. What happens a lot of the time, especially with action movies, is that you shoot the script. Hopefully you don't go over schedule, over budget, or have any problems like that. And then when you cut the movie together, you realize it's too long. Usually the first cut that the director comes up with can be anywhere from 2.5 hours to 3 hours long. But you start slimming it down. And then finally you come up with the movie that you really want to show to the audience, and you test it. And even at this point, the movie might be still over 2 hours long. And you have a test audience, and you watch their reactions, and you ask questions, and you want to get input, because you know, none of us is a genius. You try to make the best possible movie, tell the most interesting story you can, but in the final end, it's really the audience is going to be your judge. They're going to tell you if, whether you succeeded. And particularly with Stallone's character Gabe, one of our goals was to make it realistic, make his character vulnerable, real, in the perimeter of a fantastical action-adventure story. We didn't want him to appear as Rambo or some kind of a Superman who is capable of anything. And this leads us into the reason why a couple of scenes were cut. And the first scene that you will see now that you never saw in the movie, which we shot with a lot of work and put together with a lot of work and then realized that it was too much, is called the King's Leap sequence. And this was a sequence that really originates from real life. Mountain climbers really do this incredible trick, which is jumping from one cliff face to the other with no ropes and so on. And of course, in the movie world, we made it bigger than what it could ever be in real life, and it really is quite a leap. I thought we'll get away with it. I thought it was quite a spectacular moment. Yet when I showed the movie to some people, and when I really analyzed it, when it was all put together, it was quite clear that it was just a little too much. You sort of lose the credibility, and this was the reason I had to cut the scene out. So my original idea was that when Gabe and Jesse are trying to cross this bridge, it blows up. And in order to get across this space, Gabe has to do this incredible jump.
Gabe, please.
And we did it, yet then we realized that the jump was just a little too incredible.
Gabe?
I'm all right! I just... Go back! Get some help!
And the way to get around that in the story was that we used another scene from another part of the movie and had Gabe and Jesse walking down a snowy hill and making a plan how they're going to separate. Gabe is going to go the other way, Jesse is going to go the other way, and that way they sort of get around this problem. And we re-recorded some lines over their shot where they say, okay, I got to go this way, you got to go that way, and made a plan.
Look, there's no we. What I'm going to do is go along the North Trail, the Bicker Ladder, and you'll go back to the station for help.
Are you crazy?
Look, if they find the money, Hal's dead. Just get back there fast.
All right.
We had very few sequences in Cliffhanger that we actually ended up cutting entirely out in the end. And the second one that I will show you is the so-called ice climb. This was a sequence that was written to take place after the avalanche, when Gabe has survived the avalanche and then is trying to get to the top of the mountain faster than the villains. And we scripted a sequence where he's climbing a frozen waterfall, because this is one of the most challenging things that mountain climbers do, where you use very special equipment and you actually climb up the frozen surface of a waterfall. And we built a fiberglass waterfall at the studios, Cinecittà in Rome, and we shot some of the footage in the Alps. And we did some optical effects for this sequence, including optical sky replacement and an optical down angle where we feel that the ground is far, far away underneath, and put this sequence together. But when I finally saw it, there were two reasons why I didn't like it. One was, again, the same reason as with the previous cut sequence, which was we seemed to be making Gabe's character a little too superhuman. In T-shirt, he was surviving these sub-zero conditions and climbing this almost impossible task. It just felt like a little too much. And another reason was that, as surprising as it might be, sometimes even in a big budget movie like this, some things just don't come out as well as you wanted them to come out. And I just didn't feel that the set looked good enough. I didn't feel that the icicles looked good enough. I'm from Finland. I've lived all my life with icicles. It might pass in Hollywood, but not in Finland. And I just felt that it just quite wasn't on the level of the other things that I had in the movies, the beautiful landscapes and so on. And I figured out a way to cut this sequence out, which means that now we see Gabe climb up this incredible wall, and next time when we cut back to him, he reaches the top, and we can see he's freezing and he's in miserable condition and so on. And when I put it together like that, I realized that it worked completely fine. It cut the length of the movie down a little bit, took a little bit of the superhuman aspect out, and that way I think made the movie better.